Hey, and welcome back to another episode of The Chef's Table. I am Chef Evelyn, and I'm a culinary brand strategist that specializes in helping chefs make more money by charging premium prices in their food business. And the way that I help them charge premium prices so that they can make more money is by helping them build a high-end culinary brand from scratch. So listen, if you are new here, welcome to the channel. Welcome to our part of the internet. I hope that you enjoy your time here. And if you do, by the end of this video, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on these weekly videos that I upload to the channel. And if you have been here before, well then welcome back. I am so glad that you are here. So in today's video, I want to share with you like 5 steps to charging premium prices in your food business, right? So some of these you may have heard me share before. Some of these may be new to you. Listen, they're worth repeating because if you haven't done them already, then that means you need to hear them again, okay? If you're new here, I like to say in some of my videos, if you see me looking down, it's because I do have notes. Because listen, I value your time. Like, I don't like people to waste my time, and I don't want to waste your time. So I want to make sure that I give you what you came here for, that it is valuable and useful to you in your business. And so I take notes to make sure that I don't forget. Okay, so let me tell you how I got into charging premium prices, right? So I used to be a chemical and environmental engineer. If you've been here before, you probably know that. And I left my career in corporate America to follow my passion for food. But one of the things that I don't think I considered or didn't consider soon enough was like, oh, like the traditional chef route is about like long hours and low pay. And if you are a career changer like I am, if you've left corporate America, maybe, you know, you worked in corporate or nonprofit or tech or healthcare or something, you know, you're used to making a decent salary, right? But you know, you want to follow your passion, but you know, it's just not like the numbers are not doing what the numbers need to do, right? The thing isn't thangin'. Okay, is that what the young people say? Okay, and so, you know, for me, it dawned on me that like if I'm going to be in this field, I'm going to have to figure out a way to make more money, and the only way to make more money can't just be by me working more. Like, I didn't leave corporate America to work even harder for less, right? And so I kind of went down this path of going, okay, like what would it look like? What would it take for me to make more money, you know, to kind of get back to the lifestyle that I'm accustomed to, or the lifestyle that I want to grow into, but still be in this space. And I realized that the only option for me outside of just working more, right, which is what a lot of people tell you, oh, just go get more clients, or that's what a lot of people think they need is, I just need more clients, right? Was really, I actually needed a higher price point, right? And so I was like, okay, well, what do I need to do to easily command a higher price point and it just not be a big deal? So I'm going to kind of share with you kind of like a couple of things that I hopefully will get you started on your journey, okay? So the first thing I realized that I needed to do was I needed to specialize. And I've talked about this before, but you really have to have a clearly defined culinary point of view. You know, one of the things I talk about in the High-End Culinary Brand Masterclass, where I teach you how to charge premium prices in your food business, is that like you need to have something called a culinary point of view. And I kind of go into what that is and what's all included in that. But I realized that I need to specialize because I looked around at other non-food industries and I looked at the people who had higher price brands or higher price services. And I realized that the people who were charging higher prices were specialists, right? Like one of the examples that I use on this channel all the time is about like doctors, like your general practitioner or your primary care physician is not making as much as an anesthesiologist or a brain surgeon or an endocrinologist, right? Or a cardiologist, right? Like those who have specialized make more, right, because they're so specialized than the person who's like a generalist, right? And so, you know, I realized, I was like, okay, while I can do a lot of things in food, and you know, we all are like, I can do all, I can cook all the things, I can do all the things, you know, I didn't want to be a Jane of all trades and a master of none, right? I wanted to get really clear about what I did really, really well, and that I really wanted to lean in that. And so I'm going to say the same thing to you. I think you need to get really clear about what you want to do and what you're the best at, and really, really lean into that because that's going to be your sweet spot. Okay, so specialize is number one. The second thing you need to do is you need to couple that with the high-end brand experience, right? So, a lot of times when people come to me and they're new clients, they're thinking like, I make really good food, or, I'm the quality of the thing that I'm doing is great. And I'm like, yes, that is absolutely important, right? I am never going to tell you to have low quality anything, right? You should be able to cook. Your food should be good. It should not be overcooked. It should be cooked well. It should, all these things, right? But that's only a portion, right? And, I recently recorded a video where I talked about the fact that, one of the main reasons why people stop supporting companies or brands is not necessarily because of the quality alone, because sometimes they can have an off batch or an off product or an off moment, but you don't cancel your loyalty to the brand. But typically when people leave companies, brands, stop supporting, it's because they've had a really bad experience with them. And so the converse of that statement is also true, that brand loyalty comes from the experience, right? And so it's the same thing that, you need to build this high-end brand experience that I just don't really find is talked about a lot in the food service space, right? There's a lot, culinary school teaches you to be a better chef, teaches you about food safety and sanitation. Culinary school prepares you mainly to be an employee, definitely not an entrepreneur. I mean, you maybe get like a class, and that's like, hey, if you ever want to run a restaurant someday in the future after you have $3 million in capital, like, here you go, right? And listen, I love my culinary school experience, so this is absolutely not a dig at culinary school. Culinary school is doing what it was designed to do, but it doesn't teach that. And even when I've kind of looked around, the web space, right? And on the internet, there are some amazing people out there teaching you how to build your personal chef business or how to build your cooking class business. I'm one of those people. I teach people how to, do cooking classes. They're teaching you how to do a meal prep business or have a bakery or be a chocolatier, or they're teaching you how to be a food blogger or a food influencer. And I think all of that is fantastic. But what it's not teaching you is how to build a brand that will command higher prices, right? And so in order to do that, you need to build a high-end experience, which is why that's what I specialize in. Like, my sweet spot is teaching you how to charge higher prices. And the reason why I know it's my sweet spot is because every job that I ever had in the food service industry, I would go in, I would follow this framework that I had. And at the time, I didn't know that it was a framework, but I found myself doing the same things over and over and over at each company, and was able to charge higher prices, right? And then one day I realized, I was like, Evelyn, do this on yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, do this on your own personal business. And I realized that that's what people were coming to me for. Like, how do I charge these premium prices? How do I get people to pay these with ease? Stop nitpicking my invoices and, having sticker shock in my proposal, or, having champagne taste, but on a sparkling water budget. Like, how do I get rid of those clients and get the kind of people who, like, price isn't the main factor, right? And so it's about building that high-end brand, okay? The next thing you need to do is you have to execute that experience consistently, right? And, one of the things that I truly believe is that it takes the same amount of work to sell something at a lower price than it does to a higher price. It's the same amount of work. Sometimes it's less work, but you just have to do that work consistently, right? And I think that's the thing. A lot of times people kind of want to do a little bit here and a little bit there and a little bit there. And it's like, you have to execute that high-end brand experience consistently, right? From the moment people encounter your brand, and not even just until you close the deal or make their sale or get the gig, but even once they become a client, right? And a lot of people don't even know what goes into that. Like they have no idea what goes into, like, well, how, when people first encounter me, how am I able to even influence what their experience is like, and what even goes into after they become a client, besides like delivering the service to them, right? But you have to continuously execute and fire on all cylinders, right? You need to be cooking on all burners, as we say, right? So that's the next thing. I would say, the fourth thing is that you really have to have the confidence to charge premium prices. I dedicated a whole section in the How to Charge Premium Prices in Your Food Business Masterclass to write the 4 components of having confidence to charge higher prices. Because I think a lot of times in our industry, we have been conditioned to believe that, once blue collar, always blue collar, and that, you know, it's a lower working wage, long hours, low pay. It's grueling, it's a grind. And maybe for some people, and maybe for restaurant life, but you know, I think that if it's one thing that 2020 taught us is that that's not gonna fly anymore, right? And so I've been over in here in my corner of the internet saying, raise your prices, you know, create a higher brand experience, and here's why, for many years. And so even though you could be fed up with that experience, even though, you know, you could want something different with that experience, if you don't have the confidence that, one, you can charge those prices, or how to charge those prices, or that you're worth those prices, or that people will pay those prices, or that you'll find the kind of clients who don't flinch at those prices, if you don't have that confidence, then it is going to be challenging to do that. And which is why I included that whole section. It's more than we can go into in our time together in today's video, but like I included a whole section about that because I think it's super important, right? Like I heard a mentor say one time that you earn at the level of your confidence. And that it stuck with me, and I was like, I've got to get my confidence together. And there were several things that worked that contributed to me you know, justifying and having the confidence that I have now to charge those premium prices. But yeah, like that statement, you earn at the level of your confidence, did something to me, okay? And listen, maybe it'll do something to you, but so I definitely think you have to have the confidence to charge premium prices. And then after you specialize, after you build that high-end experience, right, after you execute that experience consistently, after you have the confidence for premium prices, you're gonna have to ask for the prices. And I'll tell you this story, and I might have told this story before, that I was at a business conference several years ago, and it wasn't related to food. It was related to like coaching and consulting and things like that. And I remember that, you know, I mean, well, one, I've been at several like business conferences over my career, and, you know, people have sold all different types of things for different price points. But I remember the woman at this conference got into the front of the room, and she was offering her services to those of us in the room, and she asked for a price point that was like, let me just say, multiple 5 figures. And I remember that she did it with such ease. She did it with such ease. She did it with such grace. She didn't do crazy tactics. She didn't turn into a used car salesperson, right? Like her cadence didn't change. Her body language didn't change. I remember it being so effortless, and that she was so confident and so relaxed in her approach. And I remember saying, I want to learn how to do that. Like I may not be charging those prices, but I want to be able to effortlessly and effectively and easefully and gracefully, you know, present my premium prices with just like very, I don't want to say nonchalantly, because she definitely took her business serious, but there was I mean, all I can think is there was an ease about it, right? And so I remember I didn't sign into that program, but I did take a couple of things from her, and I learned how to do that. And it was largely tied into my confidence, but that confidence was largely tied into the kind of brand experience that I was offering, right? And so, you know, those are the things that I want to say, like, that will get you on the path to charging higher prices. Specializing, knowing that a specialist makes more than a generalist, right? Creating that high-end brand experience, because people are loyal to the experience, and they disappear if they have a bad experience, right? You know, being consistent with that. There's nothing worse than like having someone like, you know, it's a great experience one day and then a horrible experience the next day. Like, you have to be consistent with that, and it has to be congruent throughout your brand experience. I think also like having the confidence, it's so important. And then the last thing is you actually have to ask. Like, you know, you can do all the mindset work, and okay, I've got the confidence, and okay, I've got the brand experience, and okay, I'm specialized. But if you just don't ask for your new rate, then the answer will automatically be no. We've heard that before. It's very cliche, but listen, it's effective. It is cliche for a reason, and it's cliche because it's the truth, right? Like you're just gonna have to ask, right? But I did a video recently where I talked about this. Sometimes people try to ask for premium prices and they haven't done those things, and what happens, right? So one of the things that I cover in the masterclass is like some of the most common mistakes I see people make when they're trying to charge premium prices. Listen, some of these will give you a clue to that, but there's some other things that people do. It's like you can't just decide one day to wake up and increase your prices and think that that's going to fly with your potential clients and customers. They're more savvy than that. People deserve more than that. You're better than that, okay? And so, but that's what I wanted to share with you today, is about like kind of the 5 steps you need to get on the path to charging premium prices in your chef business. So I want to know from you, like, which one of these 5, do you need the most support with? Which one of these 5 like resonated with you the most? And which one are you going to work on next? If you're interested in taking the masterclass, you can go to highendculinarybrand.com and enroll there, and you'll get access to my 7-part dinner party framework that walks you through everything you need to have in your brand to create a high-end brand experience so that you can start charging premium prices. And that's it for today's video, and I'll see you in my next video. Peace.